Hello and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And sorry for the delay there in the videos. Long story short, if you didn't watch the Doom video that I just recently posted, I was sick over the weekend. There was other drama, I don't want to deal with it. But I'm back, and so I'm going to try to do at least a video today. A video per day. Maybe 2 over the weekend, we'll see. Because I still have Wolfenstein to take care of. Also, you'll notice I just destroyed the curtains there, so keep that in mind. I just needed a little bit of an intro here. Also, you'll notice that we have the Tempered Sword before we're about to face the Wizard Agahnim, and that's kind of good. Because the Tempered Sword, again, is basically the Master Sword. And, yeah, it kind of enables us to skip something. So we didn't go and get the Master Sword, but that's okay, because guess what? We don't need it anymore. So you can do that, so watch this. Because yes, the Tempered Sword does classify itself as a Master Sword. Anyways, time to take care of these guys. And these enemies in the castle here are actually fairly difficult. If I didn't have the Tempered Sword, then these guys would take a lot of hits. Even with the arrows, so... what are you gonna do? But you still have to get rid of them. So, you know. And I kind of like the layout of this dungeon. It's kind of a... it's kind of an interesting spiral, I guess you would say, spiral staircase maybe. And it also gives us a bit of a preface before we head into a more difficult part of the game, if you know what I mean. I mean, you aren't supposed to have the Tempered Sword at this level, and it's kind of interesting how easy everything is. And of course, the interesting thing is that it's really not going to help us much against the Wizard Agahnim, because basically we still need to do a certain thing a certain number of times, if you know what I mean. And also this maze here, we're going to see a lot more mazes like this in the future. I kind of like that. It's kind of like this game is giving us sort of an intro, an introduction, without really giving us that many instructions, you know? So you can get used to the mechanics, rather. Before we have a lot of difficult stuff to face. And I like that. I think a good game, the mark of a good game, is that it doesn't give you a verbal tutorial. It just kind of gives you, you know, basic things to do in the beginning, basic tasks, basic dungeons, basic mazes, puzzles, things like that. Just so you learn along the way. And that way it doesn't really give you a huge learning curve, you know, immediately. Now, I think Zelda 2 was kind of like that too, but even so, you know, Zelda 2 had the audacity, if you will, to give us Death Mountain. And also, I'm kind of curious. I was trying to think of other... we got a key here, by the way. I was trying to think of other steep learning curves in other games. And I was thinking of Final Fantasy's Ice Cave, and of course Zelda 2, Death Mountain. And, yeah. But if anybody knows any other difficulty spikes or whatever, let me know. I'm kind of curious about that. You know, in other games. In other words, games that seem easy and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're insanely difficult. And also, I apologize on the Doom video last. The audio was weird. So I just deleted it and re-uploaded it. But if there's any issues like that and I don't catch them, you know, just let me know. I don't mind re-uploading, you know, if there's an issue. Fortunately, the levels in this area are pretty easy, apart from the enemies. And you don't really have to light all the torches and all that stuff, but if you want to, you know, if you want to see what the rooms are like, I guess you could do that. And I like how the enemies now actually have, maybe not artificial intelligence, but have a little bit more advanced scripting so that sometimes they don't notice you. Alright, so anyways, that's just telling us, even with the Master Sword, we can't really hit the wizard directly, but, you know, if you know about this game, we already know that, so no news. And we were going to figure that out eventually. like it. It's a new mechanic they introduced in the Zelda games, you know. Oh, and also, what was I gonna say? Recently there was a, I think it was Cosmo Right that did a 18-minute, 20-second glitched completion of Ocarina of Time that I recently watched, and I was really amazed by that. And it's been a while since I've played Ocarina of Time. It's a long game, and if there's any desire for me to play that game, maybe. I've never gotten all 100 gold Skulltulas. But anyways, what I was going to say is I figured out that there's actually a master quest to it, and I didn't know. I mean, you know, sometimes people don't know about these things. And that actually would be kind of fun. So, I don't know. There's some stuff on the radar. But let me know in the comments what you think. And also somebody commented on the other Doom video that I posted and deleted about the audio, but yeah, thanks for that. I didn't ignore it. Now we get to deal with this, and presto changeo, she disappears. Well, yeah. I know it's gonna sound like the audio's out of sync, but whatever. If you didn't know, that's what's gonna happen. So, he's gone. What do we do, right? Well, it's pretty obvious. You just kind of destroy the curtains here, and you'll find a secret passage. And now we get to face the wizard Agahnim, and it's kind of easy, really, because basically he's gonna have two major attacks. And if he's up in the middle like this, usually he'll spit out lightning, so it's best to just avoid it. But if he's on the side like this, you know, he's gonna spit out the ball at you. So that's pretty easy. And even with a tempered sword, it's gonna take the same number of hits, so we can't really get around that. Can't, like, use magic powder or anything on him. Of course, a boss's enemy is gonna give you... See right here, the lightning. But yeah, the lightning will hurt. And of course, like any Zelda enemy, it's gonna... Or Zelda boss enemy, it's gonna give you the means by which to destroy it, naturally. See, that's what happens if you try to hit him. You'll just get damaged. And it won't take away that many hits, but the lightning will take away several hearts. So, it's time to go to the Dark World, and is that going to be in the next episode? Nope! Well, actually, I showed you the Dark World earlier, and even if I didn't, you're going to see it anyways. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I know I'm a little confusing there. Alright, so that's pretty straightforward. We've got 7 dungeons, 7 maidens, and the honest thing is you can do them mostly in whatever order you want, but some dungeons do have to have certain items before you get there. So basically what we're going to be doing, since I want to get the golden sword as early as possible, and to get the golden sword as early as possible you have to complete the 5th and 6th dungeons, and that's Misery Mire and the Ice Cave. And basically we're going to be doing that. And so that's my announcement here, obviously. But of course you have to get certain items to get to certain dungeons, which enable you to eventually complete the Ice Dungeon and Misery Mire. So we're going to be doing that. But still, there's a lot to explore in the Dark World, and it's a lot of stuff to show off too. So that'll be fun. You see those little, get out of the way. Have at you. Revenge. Revenge. Anyways, you saw those little, see, these guys will hurt. But you saw these, what was it, those little spike-looking things below us? Well, we can't get past those just yet, so it's time to move on. But there is something I want to check out before we go on. Sorry about that. Heart. That really sucked. Sometimes these enemies will get you and you can't really do a whole hell of a lot. That's one thing I don't like about the scripting, but oh well. Can't really cover too much ground by swimming here, but I'll go ahead and show you something interesting. And of course, swimming mechanics suck, just as any Zelda game, except for one Zelda game, and of course that's Majora's Mask. I noticed you could probably use your magic mirror there, but anyway, if you were in the Dark World. But here we get another bottle, so that's nice. Of course I'm going to grab all the all the items. Not grab all the enemies. Grab all the items, so. Oh, and by the way, there's a few PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 games I'm looking at. I'm still on the fence about getting a Hopage or an Elgato, so I don't know. It's probably going to be post-commentary either way, so. If anybody's got any reviews, let me know. I'd love to be able to capture a PS3, or PS2 live, and pass through and then be able to do Audacity and stuff on the side, but I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. Anyways, it's time to move on. And now that we got the bottle here, we can move on to this dungeon. And before you get to this section, it would be helpful if you had at least a certain amount of rupees, at least 100 rupees, if you know what I mean. So, fortunately I had that. Come here. There you go. I just want some hearts. This is kind of an interesting maze area. You know, just alternate paths that you can go, but not a whole lot. And of course, just like last time, we have this nice little area. I'm gonna bomb the wall here. Kaboom! And of course, if we need the hearts, we've got them here, so that's pretty nice. If only there was a person worthy enough to restore the power of gold. Guess that's not us, so. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this episode, and we'll take care of the next dungeon on the next episode. So thank you so much, and have a good day. Goodbye.